Hey Chase, this is Keaton Everett from ABC going over your pitching video from the spring break camp. We're just going to sort of talk about mechanics, go over a few things, some things we can change and some things that will help us throw a little, add some velocity, make us throw with a little more power, a little less strain on our arm, and just to get a little more consistent with everything. So first off, as you kind of been watching here, we're just going to kind of break it down step by step, talk a little bit about each and what we need to do differently, what we're doing right, and just kind of go from there. So first off, right off the bat, how we're setting up. All right, pitching's all about getting consistent. You got to start in the same spot. You got to break your hands at the same time. Start your hips forward at the same time. We just want to create everything to be able to repeat, which makes it a lot easier to get consistent. All right. So basically, how we set up dictates a lot of how we're going to finish. So everything that happens over the rubber is real important for the final product. All right. So what we're doing over the rubber, if we're not starting right, we're not going to be able to finish right. So basically, the biggest thing that we're seeing here, all right, is one of the biggest things we look for in all of athletics is posture and balance. All right, so what I'm going to do is mark your spine and mark your head, and we'll watch what we're doing in the first part of our motion. So as you watch, as your leg's coming up, your head moves back a little bit, but at full leg height. All right, watch this. Watch that spine. Okay, so as you're going forward, all right, as your leg's coming up, that body's already starting to come forward. All right, your head's staying in the box, but it's just that now your spine has gone from straight and now it's a little bit angled. All right, so what we want to see is your upper body staying over that back leg a lot longer and not changing forward before we start that leg path. Once that leg starts down, then we start forward. All right, we don't want to start forward as that leg's coming up. It just creates inconsistencies. All right, one thing that's going to help you with that and to keep your hips closed is to move this foot forward so it's a little bit closed off with your back foot. All right, when we're open, that leg has got to travel a lot farther up, a lot more distance to get in position as opposed to when it's open. So we just want to make our movements as little as we can, as efficient as we can. So start off just by closing off that front foot a little bit. That'll help you up. All right. So as we're coming back, you can see how everything kind of shifts back with your arms and your upper body. All right. We want to stay back, already back over that back leg. All right. We want 80% of our weight over that back leg, and we want to also to limit our hand movements. We want to keep our glove somewhere around our belly button, around our belt. All right. You want to start up if you come right down to the glove, kind of like Billy Wagner does. I don't know if you know him. He's a lefty closer, but you do drop your hand a little bit down. So we want that glove just to cut off that movement. We're going from here to here. We just want to cut off that movement because it's gonna be tough to time that every time. So just move those hands down a little bit lower and stay over the rubber a little bit longer. All right. So the next thing we're going to look at is what our hips are doing in relation to our upper body. All right. We kind of talked about you starting, forward a little bit out of the gate. We just want to see our hips start forward before this foot starts forward and starts to open. So as you can see, right out of the gate, that foot's popping open. It's leading your hips. All right, we want to see, almost feel like you're driving that back heel towards the plate. All right, so in this position, your knees almost, kind of behind the hips to right in line, but that foot hasn't popped open yet. So that heel's still driving down towards that catcher. We want to stay as close as long as we can, get those hips out as far as we can before this front side opens up, so we can generate more power in our hips. All right, so just think about driving your hips farther down the mound, keep them closed longer, and drive that back pocket of your pants to the catcher so you can get yourself down the mound and farther out. In this position, keeping your hips closed longer, driving them out, you're probably almost going to pick up another foot length in stride. All right, we want to be able to stride out as far as we can, almost to a point where we're just you can just generate more power. It's more consistent. We'd want to see at foot strike, your leg almost at this angle, as opposed to where you're at now. So just letting your body get farther down the mound will help you out a lot too. All right. Next thing we're going to look at is arm path. All right. Out of the glove, you can see you start up with that thumb out and your fingers behind the ball the whole time. All right. You can see thumb there. All right. What we want to see that those fingers do is we want to see those fingers on top of the ball. Meaning, in this position, we don't want to see that thumb right here. We want to see a little bit farther back, and those fingertips, more on top of the ball to get a little bit more torque on the baseball. And then we can get on top of the ball and drive it downhill, as opposed to, staying on the side of it. So you can see you're kind of pulling on the side. But that's sort of minor to what we're going to talk about next. Another thing too that we want to work on is we want to work on that front side, your right side. All right. All this, we don't throw with this side. All this does is it keeps us balanced. It helps our body work better. And what we need to do is we need to have this follow our foot more so. So as this foot's going down, we want that glove to follow that foot. So in this position, we almost want it out here. So you can get that arm out in front of your body to get your balance, just kind of like a pendulum. We want kind of the forces to be equal on both sides. So we need that glove to start following that leg more. And all you're doing is you're just breaking your hands late. So you're almost, completely, well, not completely, but your leg's almost down and you're breaking your hands. We want to see your hands break as this leg starts down. So as this leg starts down, we'd want to see your hands starting to break sooner, like right about now, as opposed to now. So all that's doing is you're just late. Now you're trying to play catch up with your upper body, and that front side doesn't get over that front knee. So what we want to see in this position, instead of your glove elbow already rotating up, is we want to see you out in this position. All right. We don't want this ever see this glove. This glove above your elbow or shoulder until you've already started your shoulders rotating forward. So we want to see them, at this position. We want to see that glove still below your elbow, somewhere. It doesn't have to be exactly at this angle, but just somewhere where it's below that elbow and it hasn't rotated. So you're just rotating right out of the gate with that upper body. So you're going to cut yourself off short. You're going to land short. You're going to rotate off early on that front side, and you're just not going to get enough power that you're going to be able to generate. And then the other thing too is rotating off early. You're not going to be able to get some torque. So as you can see, your hips are started forward here, but we still want that upper body to not even be turned yet. So we're still back in this position with the upper body. All right, so you're just out in front with everything. So getting that glove out over that front side will help a little bit more. And we'll also get that back foot on the ground as you're releasing the ball. We want 2 feet on the ground. It's just athletic. It's more powerful. So just, it'll be big. That front glove will help you out a lot. It'll help you get it farther down the mound, and it'll help you stay closed long and get more torque. But your finish is good, and it looks like everything's just working there. It's just a matter of starting a little bit better. It's a matter of letting that glove get out farther and driving those hips farther down the mound so you can generate more power, more velocity, and drive that ball down the hill instead of just kind of, it's just mainly all arm, upper body. So just use more of that lower body and get going. So hopefully you have a great season this year. Have a great time. Thanks for making it out to our camp. Hope you learned a lot and had an awesome time, and we look forward to seeing you again with ABC.